So hi, my name is Sancheir and I work for Lennar Homes. And so I have grown a little bit of experience in working as a new home sales agent, and also with my past experience as a general realtor. I kind of know what I should have done more when I was a general realtor in order to bring my clients over to new construction homes, which makes it a lot easier, and it's just a really good niche to be in. It's super easy because there's always new homes to sell. So I can't wait to show you some of the tips that I have. And let me see, slide one is how to find new construction opportunities. Typically, it's best if you just search on the MLS, but a lot of new construction homes aren't on the MLS right away. Um, but you can search on the MLS, and there's also a website called New Home Source. So I believe this is also on the Miami board MLS if you wanted to plug that in, or you could just go directly to their websites, and then you can just type in what area you're looking for, and you can find all the new construction homes in that area. So I have a search for Broward County, and that way you can see new construction homes in Broward County, all the builders, their price points, and that way you can stay up to date. And it's always good to know where the new constructions are coming, because generally that area itself is also changing up. So you get to know if people are moving out, if you can get listings from them, or if new buyers will be coming up. And if one builder build there, most likely the other builders are kind of looking in that area as well. Something's good coming. This is actually my community right here. And it's pretty up to date with our prices too. So we updated this price on yesterday, and it already updated on this new home source site. So these prices are pretty accurate. Now, will they still have some stuff that's sold out? Yes. They don't take out sold out things, but at least it's up to date with new ones as well. And back to the presentation. Okay, learning the builders' names is super important too. I'm not gonna lie, I only knew maybe about 2 builders off the top of my head when I was doing general real estate. It's good to know them all. And actually, no, let me go back. Let me exit out of this again. I have this right here. Where is it? Present. Let me move this out of the way. All right. So I have here a list of my favorite builders. Obviously, Lennar is at the top of my list for favorite builders, and then Pulte and Ryan Homes, Toll Brothers, and the list can go on and on, but these are just my favorite builders. What you can do is go directly to their website, and they usually have maps of, you put in your zip code and it shows you what new construction homes they have in that area. So my step one would be definitely going to maybe a general website, asking for top builders in new construction, and then going directly onto their website to then gather some details. So let me show you another website that I had found that's really good for that. So if you go to this website here, or just type into Google top builder in the United States, this list came up, so the top 100. And if you click on their name, you can get some more information about them, their price point and stuff like that. You can even go on their website, and then you can directly find out what's in your area, or what's coming in your area. They pretty much put a lot of that information on there. Another really good hack for you to, let me go back to our presentation here. Another really good hack to have is not just networking with the new construction builder agent like myself, but networking with the internet sales team, because they know about all of the new construction homes in that area. And every single builder has both an office sales team, and then they have an internet sales team, because most of our sales are coming from the internet now. So the internet sales team, they make appointments for every single office in that district, and they know about every community, the price point, and what's coming ahead. And they know before I know, because I work and I'm focusing on my community. They focus on all. So if there's one coming up in Miami-Dade, for instance, Lennar itself, I know we have one coming on 119th and 27th called Westview. the internet sales team is always going to have more information about that new up and coming community than I would, because obviously I'm not focused on that. And they're also going to know who's going to sell that community as well before we even know who's going to sell. So like I could find out tomorrow the community that I'm going to sell, but the internet sales team will probably already know that. So what I would and what I would do is I would sign up as a buyer so that they can keep me updated. So realtors aren't really their friends right now, because they again, a lot of our sales are coming from Facebook ads and stuff like that new builders are running themselves, or that people are just driving by and driving in. Now people are savvy and knowing that they don't need a realtor to go to new construction homes. Inside scoop is that I get paid more on a deal if I don't have a realtor on the deal, and then the internet salesperson gets paid more if they don't have a realtor on the deal. So we kind of like, we love realtors. I love realtors, but it helps if you sign up as a buyer. They keep you updated because they're going to want to get you into that door as a buyer without a realtor. But if you put your email in the system, they're probably not going to call you and blow you up, but they're going to automatically send you marketing things. And then they're going to automatically tell you, hold on, it's my manager. They're automatically going to update you on new communities that's coming, and they're going to also put you on their list as a VIP buyer. So I have done that with other new construction builders that are not Lennar. I signed up for like CC Homes and different stuff like that because I want to know what my competition is doing. So I signed up as a buyer, and they keep me very, very updated on communities, sales incentives, price changes, price decreases, or when they close out a community. And that helps you a lot as a realtor, because then you sound like you learn so much more that you can share that with your audience and sound like you're almost as an inside scoop, right? So they're not going to give you all that details as a realtor, but you're going to get it as a buyer, and then you can just go ahead and use that material to market. So those are my 3 things. And obviously, working along with someone like myself, I will always keep my realtors up to date. Although the internet salespeople will try to make appointments without realtors, us NHCs, we really rely on our realtor relationships. And some of us even built like really close friendships with our realtors, where if they found somebody on Facebook or something, and let's say they're somewhere in Jamaica sipping on a pina colada, they're gonna say, hey, Sancheir, I have this buyer that was interested, and I'm in Jamaica, I can't come in. I can't come in right now. And then, like maybe they could work something out, but that's under the table. So we're going to talk about that, like being the first person there. So how can you visit and advertise projects to buyers? So the photos that you see on like Lennar's website, for instance, I could speak for our website because that's who we work for, and other people as well, because I see a lot of agents do this, is that the pictures that are online are free to use. So you can always post those on your Instagram. You can create your own ad, and you can even, some people even like make flyers as if it's a listing for them. So I would go on the websites and find really nice pictures from their website. Don't screenshot it, but like save the picture because it's a public picture. Save it and then reuse it. Run an ad on Facebook or post it in a Facebook group or something like that. And that way you can advertise it. So it's almost like a listing where you don't have to offend the listing agent, like almost like you're stealing their listing or whatever the case is. You can list any home that you want to with new construction, and that's across the board. Any questions about the last one, by the way? Sorry, I forgot to ask that. Any questions about like learning builder names, searching on the MLS, and how to get in contact with the internet sales team? Also, the easiest way to get in contact with the internet sales team is when you go on the website to just add your phone number and email. One of them are going to reach out to you eventually, and then that would be your new best friend. So no questions on that. I will go on to this one where I was like, so marketing and advertising, you can definitely do it. I do it myself. I go and steal Lennar pictures all the time and use it, but you can do it as a realtor as well. If you go into the model homes, you can go ahead and tour it. If they have model homes in the community, you're a realtor. I used to be super, super shy about telling them, hey, I'm a realtor, I don't have a buyer. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just tell them, hey, I'm a realtor and I'm going to market your community so I can get a buyer. And they're going to be excited to do that because at the end of the day, that's our job, is to sell the homes. We don't care how we sell it. We just want to sell it. And so it's nothing to be embarrassed about by telling them that you do not have a buyer with you, but you are looking for buyers for it. And you want to make sure you know all the information, and they will gladly share that with you. I've seen a couple of our top agents that works alongside us that do general real estate. They have run Facebook ads and Craigslist ad in order to to find buyers. That does take a little bit of investing to run those Facebook ads. Another cool way to do it without paying a dollar is to do it through Facebook groups. So like I'm in several Facebook groups and I'm always posting my listings or whatever that I have. And when I do, I always get maybe about 2 or 3 people at least every day that contacts me from a Facebook group that I'm in about buying a new home. So go ahead, take the pictures, post it. Hey, this new community is in North Lauderdale. It's 3-bedroom. This is the price. And they're going to reach out to you because you're the one with information. And then you make an appointment with their new home agents in order to sell the home. So any questions about that, about advertising and how you can go ahead and do it in business and stuff? Nope. All right. Let's skip it. All right. This one I'm going to stay on there for a little bit because it's super important. And there's a couple of things to talk about is the steps that you take once you have an interested buyer. All right. So one is to prep your buyer for sure. And when I say prep your buyer, that means getting to know your buyer. Oftentimes people, just like the Facebook ad thing I said, you post it on Facebook and then someone inbox you and you're like, hey, meet me here tomorrow. And you come with them and you have no idea what they're looking for, how many bedrooms they need, what's their price point, if they can even afford it. None of that stuff, right? If it's a buyer that you already knew and you already was house shopping with, right? Usually they already have a pre-approval and you already have an idea of what they're looking for, but now you're just like, hey, we're not finding anything with resale. Let's try new construction. Most of the times people aren't going to turn down new construction. Oftentimes, especially if they don't need to close in 30 days. They won't turn down going and look for a new home. So I would say, one, show it to all of your buyers. Mention new construction to every single one of your buyers, especially since new construction costs about the same as a resale home. So it's not like you're going to pay a lot more for new construction. On the back end, you might actually save a lot of money doing new construction versus a resale home because of like maintenance and upkeep and all that other stuff. So if it's a buyer that you already know, you want to go ahead and just mention new construction to them. You would know all the new constructions in the area because you already know them by name and you already searched on their website what they have in your area, in your farm area. Now, if it's somebody that saw your ad on Facebook, I say build a relationship with them before you come into the office. Because if this is going to be the first home that you show them, they're going to find such little value in what you actually do and bring to the table. Because as realtors, we work super, super hard. But that first day from just a Facebook ad to bringing them to the office and then having them sign and then them only knowing me, they're going to be like, well, why is she getting paid? She didn't do anything. So I say vet them as if you guys are about to go house hunting, period, right? This is a new lead, not just a new construction lead. So if they don't like what I have when they come into my office, at least you can take them somewhere else, new construction or a resale. So get to know them from the front end so that they can see your value in your work. And also, although you didn't drive around miles and miles, you did your research up on hand. So yeah, you deserve to get paid for that. And so that's important to do. So also finding out what they like. Do you need 4 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms? Do you need a garage? Do you need 2 stories? Because you might bring them into my office and they don't even want a townhome. They wanted a single family. So finding out things that they need before you set that appointment so it doesn't seem like a waste of time and you can very confidently convert that online lead into a very strong buyer that you can use somewhere else. Like show them your value upfront. If it's a brand new client, again, they might not be pre-approved already by the time they meet you from Facebook to the next day that you want to make that appointment. it works out for you, because most likely I'm going to try to convince you and your buyer to go through my lender anyway, but that will take out the hard part from you. So if you meet somebody totally on Facebook, you do not know this person, you don't know if they really work, you don't even know their credit score, it helps because when you bring them into my office, I'm going to ask them all those hard questions and I'm going to do the pre-approval. And so then I'll be able to tell both of you, hey, yes, you have the green light, you got approved, or no, you don't. And then you can decide whether or not you're going to go forward with it. Once you do the pre-approval through us though, and they decide, you know what, Sancheir, I don't like the home. I'm going to have Jasmine help me find something else. You can't use the lender that we already, our lender, because our lender is like Lennar. And most builders have their own lenders because they're publicly traded companies. It benefits them to have their own lenders. If I'm talking too fast, guys, you can stop me. Once they use that pre-approval, at least now you know you have a qualified buyer to work with. Although you go ahead and take them to your preferred lender, you know that they can afford a home and that they're already vetted. So that is how you want to prep your buyer. I'm going to pause right there because that was a lot of information. And so does anybody have a question? Nope. All right. So I asked a couple of questions like, would you, I have a lot of realtors that just send their clients. If you won't send your client to an open house on their own to be unrepresented, then don't send them to my office alone, right? Because one, you do need to be there at the first appointment. It's very important that you're there because that is how I can do the registration. And if I register them in my system after 24 hours, they cannot add their cousin, their girlfriend, or anybody else onto the deal as a realtor because they didn't do the work up front. The builder has stopped that. A lot of builders don't even do it. You have to be there the first time with your clients in order to be registered. You want your clients to feel like you're doing a lot of work for them because after that, you sign the contract, you pretty much don't do anything. So you want to at least show your value. And be active during the entire transaction. So that means when I'm signing the contract, even though I do go over the contract with your buyer, if you want, I can send you the contract first. That way you can know that I'm doing the due diligence for your client. And then you can tell your client, hey, let me read over this contract before you sign it. I want to make sure that I am protecting you. Although this contract was made by lawyers years and years ago, and all 50 states use it for every new construction builder, it still makes you sound like, hey, I'm looking out for you. So let me read it first. They're going to be like, damn, you're so good. You're so right. Because I don't want to read 70 pages. But if you're going to do it for me, go ahead, do it. And you're probably not. But at the same time, you know, you have done it for your clients. There's a couple of important pages that you want to read over. And typically the agent that like myself would highlight what pages that you want to read over, making sure that the name is spelled right, making sure that the price is listed correctly, make sure any promised discounts is on the contract, because if it's not in writing, it won't matter at closing. So making sure you have all of those things corrected on the contract before your client sign is great to do up front and make sure that they feel protected by you. Any questions so far? Khalid, how I'm doing? Am I going too fast?
Nah, you're doing great. I think you just covering so much information. They just don't have questions. But nah, I'm good with it. Okay. You're doing great.
Well, I'm glad we have a replay because I'm talking fast.
Nah, you see, I be thinking the same thing and they be worried, like, it freaks me out. But no, you're doing great. This is exactly what they want.
Got it.
You're being very helpful. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, so we went over prepping the buyers. Okay, so the average turnaround time for building a new home is it takes about 4 to 5 months to build a home. So it depends on how fast you get to that community. Your client might have to wait a little longer. I've had people that bought the home in December and won't close until September. Then I have people that bought the home this month that will also be closing in September, October. So it just depends on when they buy the home. However, the people that bought the home in December bought it for about $40,000, $50,000 less. So they don't mind waiting a little longer for their home because they paid so much less and they built a lot of equity while waiting. So the first reason why it takes a long time to build a home, other than the obvious reason that you don't want somebody rushing something that you're going to be building in South Florida, at least because we have hurricanes, you want to Where is it? Present. So the land development. So we have this thing where it's called, put it over, land development, which is in 3 different phases. So you have the pre-development phase where they're doing the budgets, the sites, the marketing due diligence, making sure that they're building the right home for that market area, permits, talking to the city. You will believe it or not, some cities protest new construction. They don't want new buildings there. They don't want a townhome coming and blocking their view. They don't want new homes in their area, all kind of stuff. It's going to traffic and all that stuff. They have to go back and forth with mayors. And for my community, we had to go back and forth with this funeral home that we're next to, and they didn't want people to drive in their parking lot. It's like, okay, we don't want to drive in your parking lot either. So it's just so much different things that go into the pre-development phase. And so if you, like, sometimes you pass by and it's like, coming soon, Lennar Home, we're probably still in that pre-development stage, but Lennar is so excited that they want to like kind of like draw up excitement from the neighborhood people, right? And then we're in construction phase, which is what we're into right now. And these are a couple of things that that goes into the construction phase, is like the drawing reviews and the blueprints, and everything starts rolling out. And at this point, we're already making sales at the pre-development phase, right? And then in the construction phase, we're also in the construction phase, we're making sales as well. So project completion, we're also still making sales even if we're not sold out. Like my community, we're sold out and we're still in construction phase. So this is when, you know, like a lot of the permits, occupancy permits and closings and COs and stuff like that, that's when that comes to play. So it's a lot that goes into building the home, that a lot of those things are paperwork and they're done through the city that has nothing to do with Lennar or the builder. And so they're on their own precious time, and they don't care how long you've been waiting. They don't care. They're going to take their lunch break. They're not going to respond to your emails, and you have to make appointments in order for them to come out and even see your site. So those kind of things take time, and might hold up the building of the home. So that's one good thing to make sure your clients know. Permits, that can hold up as well, because I used to work in new construction on the apartment side. So I did lease up, where we had to get permits before we could even rent the homes. So although people were like waiting for the homes to be built, they can't move into the apartment unless we have COs and stuff like that. And then we're at the liberty of the fire department and the city and stuff like that. So it's whenever they come to us to give us those permits. Once we get permits and we're ready to close, and we clear to close from the bank, those builders are trying to close that same day. And that's something we're going to talk about in a later slide. Obviously, construction and supply and demand kind of go hand in hand, like with wood supply and shortage and ordering a whole bulk appliances and stuff like that. That can be a time constraint as well. And weather, because we're in hurricane season right now, a lot of builders are going to expect some longer waits and turnaround, because the minute we hear a storm is coming, we want to put away all our plywood and all of our supplies and kind of like protect our property and not build in that kind of condition. So sometimes that can push it back a week or two, depending on circumstances. So those are all things to keep in mind for your buyers, making sure that they have a place to stay if something was to come up. Did I have a slide like that? I think. Okay. Any questions about that? All right, let me go back to the presentation slide on this one. All right.
That was going to be my question. What happened to the full view? That was it. Thank you.
All right, there you go. What you must do in a transaction versus what you must do, right, as a buyer agent. Bring the buyer. That is pretty much what you do. But you also want to make sure that your buyer gets a good deal. So making sure that I don't finesse your buyers out of like saving about $10,000. You want to make sure your buyer has the soonest closing as possible, not being pushed back and not being rushed at the last minute. So try to get them into the earlier buildings. And then seller's incentive in a really, really good market where the buyer has some say, not a market like today's market, but in a really good market, a lot of builders cover closing costs or do free upgrades and stuff like that. Your buyer won't ask for that on their own. Definitely reach out and say, hey, like if you're in a meeting with us and stuff like that, be like, hey, do you have any incentives? Do you have any upgrades? That will show your buyer that you want them to save as much money as possible. So that is extremely helpful and something that you should do when you're in a meeting. If your buyer has been pre-approved, it is okay for them to do another approval with the buyer's agent if it will benefit them with closing costs and discounts, right? Obviously, they can use your lender if your lender has better deals. But if it's going to save your buyer about $4, $5, $7, $10,000, don't hold on one moment for me, please. All right, sorry about that, guys. Whew. All right, where was I? All right, so yeah, it is totally okay to have a buyer do another pre-approval, especially if it has been in 45 days. They're not going to have a hard pull. It might be about a point or two that they lose, but it will be beneficial to them to save that money. I know we have relationships with lenders ourselves, and we kind of want to like hold our lenders and give them deals because they might give us deals, but if it will benefit your client, definitely educate them on that. And then what I do is I write the contract and all the addendums. I schedule the inspections and I coordinate the closings. And so I do everything you would have done as a buyer agent, but I'm also doing it as the listing agent and the buyer agent. So really all you do is bring your client and you make the commission. So a lot of builders pay 1 to 5% of commission, depending on the type of market that we're in, depending on the type of buyer that you have, because most builders pay more for international buyers than they do domestic. Don't know why, kind of crazy, but they do. Like for instance, Lennar pay 5% if a realtor brings an international buyer, and they pay 1% right now if you bring a domestic buyer. A lot of buyers do it. I don't know what's the hiccup with it, but that's how it goes. So yes, we have our own title company as well. So you don't have to find a title company. You literally don't have to do anything but show up at the appointment and show up to the closing if you want to. But all you do is send your clients this way. It's the easiest transaction deal ever. If you only sell new construction, you probably won't ever be a really good realtor because you won't ever have to do anything. But you make a lot of money. I have one realtor that I work with, and he has sold last year 30 Lennar homes, and last year he was getting 30 times $6,000 commission average. He made like $180,000 with Lennar last year, and he was also selling with other builders as well. Hey, he's a really big realtor in Miami, and he also just markets new construction. He sells it to everybody. He takes pictures when he's in new construction offices. He's posting it on Instagram. He's running Facebook ads, and he is making it seem like he's listing new construction homes, and he's just sending people them. So he makes a lot of money doing that. Nothing, no harm, no foul. Any questions on that one?
Oh, let's go check the oil.
All right.
Roman, leave it, make it charge. Plug it up, make it charge.
Right.
Leave it, make it charge. Turn it on.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I had to mute you. All right. So the be the superhero, right? And when I say be the superhero is that I'm myself have a lot of people under contract, so I can't remember everybody every day, but you remember your client, you know what they need. And so educating your client personally will definitely make the new construction purchase a lot smoother. So I brought like builder fees, for instance. A lot of agents don't know that all new constructions have a builder fee. Sometimes it can get waived, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $6,000. So it all depends on the cost of the home, the area, and the builder. So have your buyer know that a builder fee is something that goes into the lifestyle of buying a new construction home. And then, like, what do you do if they have any delays? If you pre-plan in your head and you set that expectation for your clients, there will be no surprises. And then they also won't look at you and say, hey, how come you didn't prepare me for this? Because you know what? They always have to find a bad guy, and I'm going to be the bad guy and you're going to be the bad guy because we're their source of contact. So if closing days delay for any reason, have a backup plan for your clients and make sure that they have a backup plan, whether it could be putting their things in storage or staying with family for the last 2 months, or if their lease expired, not signing another lease and then having to renew and break their lease and cost more money. Just kind of like think of like the smartest ways possible and like to plan out their purchase. Let's say if their lease ends in November and I'm giving you a closing cost of like October, let them know like, hey, you might have to stay with mom for about a month after your lease expired if Lennar doesn't close on time because of the things that we mentioned, permits and weather and supply and demand and different things. Make sure you set that expectation up front, because then your client will know that you're educated, prepared, and you have their back. You had a question, Khalid? No. Okay. Having your funds for closing costs ready. Sometimes we have to hold our clients' hands. I mean, every time we have to hold our client's hand. Having their closing costs fund ready is so important, because when they sign a contract months before having to actually pay for closing costs and stuff like that, they can spend that money. Emergencies happen, job loss, job change, relationship status changes, emergency fund get dipped into. They have to save for that closing, because that's the only way I get paid. That's the only way you get paid. So make sure that you remind your clients that they need to save up, and it's months ahead. And then sometimes we think, oh, okay, I can save $20,000 by December. I can save this $8,000. And if I start in July, it's like, no, start now and put that money away somewhere in a housing fund or something where you are saving for closing costs. We need our people to close, because that's how we get paid, to be honest. And I know I want to pretend that we really, really only care about our clients and we don't even care about our paychecks, but we do. And so we need to be on them about closing costs, because at the end of the day, when it's time to close, the bank needs the money, right? And staying on top of your buyer with credit as well, because it's months away. Their credit can change. They can buy a new car and they can create more debt, and then that will change their rents, their ratios, because what they got pre-approved back in September. I mean, what month are we in? So they got pre-approved back in March, right? I know we're not in March, but we got pre-approved in March, and then the bank is going to run their credit again for closing. That's a big gap to mix with that credit if it's not an increase. Getting new credit cards and just things happen. So you want to make sure that you stay up to date with your clients, so there's no surprises for you at the end when they say, hey, underwriting did not approve this loan because this and that and the third. That was not there in March. And so that is it with that one as well. I think that was it with the presentation itself. And I think I pretty much covered everything that you guys really wanted to know about like new construction and just like the procedure of it as well. And just like a quick reminder, all you have to do is bring your clients in, educate your clients, and stay up to date with your clients and the builder. And give us grace and mercy, because we are working with 10, 15 people a day. And then, so you want to make sure that you are up to date with what your clients' needs are, and not just rely on the builder agent to do that. And then it's a lot easier for you. You don't have to schedule inspections. You don't have to schedule appraisals and all that stuff like that. The builder does it, and then that way it's easy money. So I recommend it to everyone to do that. Any questions so far? Jasmine, Gordon, Khalid signing from 2 different accounts. No? Did I miss a
No
problem?
questions. Thank you.
No, we're fine. Thank you.
No problem. If you ever have any questions, you know, you can always ask your broker, and he'll reach out to me, but he's pretty educated as well with new construction. Yeah, it was a pleasure doing it with you guys and for you guys. Hopefully I covered everything. There's not much more that you should know as a new construction other than how to find it and how to sell it. And the easiest way to sell it is actually going to the models, taking videos, posting it on social media, and always reminding your audience that you are a real estate expert. And if new construction is your niche area and that's what you want to do, always be putting it out there that is, you know, that you are so educated on it, you know about it. Like, don't miss a chance to record anything and let your people know. And again, you can start that tonight by simply going on one of those new construction websites, finding one in your area, because I would only advertise what I can actually sell, and posting the pictures. They have details online. They have the prices, the square footage, the room numbers. Post it on one of your Facebook groups as an assignment tonight, just to test yourself and see who reaches out to you. And then refer them to that agent. Make an appointment, meet it up, and go over there. You never know who's looking for a home until you post it. All right.
Thank you, Sancheir. And don't forget, everybody follow Sancheir and subscribe to her YouTube. Your YouTube channel is Sancheir Austin.
It is Sancheir Austin. I haven't been posting on there, but yeah, it's Sancheir Austin when I start posting.
She's gonna post after today. She's gonna have some more videos. So everybody subscribe to Sancheir's YouTube. Follow her on Instagram, Sancheir Austin LA. And thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I will see everyone in the next. Of course, I'll see you guys in the next training, and I'll send everybody a copy of this video. And that's it. That's all I got.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.